Oshkosh Media is government programming on GovTV, community programming on Life TV, and community radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9.
Welcome to the City Manager's Report, a look at city updates and a preview of the next Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda.
And welcome to the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, joined today by your City Manager for the City of Oshkosh, Mark Roloff. Mark, welcome to the show.
Great to be here, Andy.
All right, in the first half of today's show, we'll be talking about some municipal news highlights, and then after a short break, we'll come back and talk about some agenda highlights from the Tuesday, January 26th Common Council meeting. And that can be seen live here on GovTV. So Mark, starting off, a little bit of background information for folks again regarding COVID type issues. We're still encouraging folks to use online services as they can with the city.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's been going really well. The public has been very welcoming to those changes. City Hall is open for business transactions and everything, but there are so many real viable options that you can go to at City Hall. So as you go to our website, take a look at those things that you can access.
Sure.
There's applications and there's bill paying options, all those things. So certainly, check our website to see what things are out there for your use to make it more convenient for you as well as safer for you.
Sure. And we're encouraging folks also to check the website for individual updates from different departments, for any news from them. So please check out the city's website. And I know that also there are probably some questions regarding vaccine supplies and things like that. And so...
Yeah, well, we do not have any, we're not part of the distribution chain.
Right.
The county health department is part of it, but all our health providers are really the key. So the supply is going to be the real issue. I was just on a conference call with some folks from the Department of Health and Services, and they, right now, we're only getting about 70,000 doses statewide per week,
okay.
Which is not enough to, in the short run, get that done. But that'll be picking up as other vaccines get accepted. So I would just encourage everybody to be patient. It'll come to us in due time. We're still going through Groups 1A. Groups 1B will be announced next week, but we're already working on those. We're certainly going to work to make sure that our essential workers are taken care of. Mm-hmm. But there are essential workers both in government as well as many other industries. And,
mm-hmm.
The other day I heard about, grocery workers, and, I think they're essential to everybody. So
mm-hmm.
There's other groups that are also very important that we want to make sure. But we want to make sure water distribution is taken care of because water is essential to all of us. So
absolutely.
And so
mm-hmm.
those are areas that we're looking at. But we don't make those calls, but we will make sure that when vaccines are ready for our folks, we're going to be in line, ready to get those shots done so that we can open it up to everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. And also as far as funding goes, there has been some funding that has been made available, and the city is taking advantage of utilizing this for some different purposes.
Yeah, the federal government, there's a community development block grant program that we've had for years.
Mm-hmm.
There has been some specific CARES money due to the Coronavirus Recovery Act, and there's some funding. And the first round that we got was about $494,000. There's going to be 3 rounds of it,
okay.
But that was the first round of money that we received.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then there are different projects and needs that were submitted, and those were looked at back in December. And how were those groups chosen who decided?
Well, we solicited a lot of nonprofit agencies and other groups to give us ideas and proposals.
Mm-hmm.
We invite the Oshkosh Area Community Foundation and the Oshkosh Area United Way because they also deal with a lot of these groups,
okay.
Either
mm-hmm.
seeking funding or they have insight into their needs as well. We had a lot of proposals for a lot more than the $494,000. But we know that we have other rounds of funding coming, mm-hmm. and we also know by working with the foundation and the United Way that they also have ways to help these groups as well. So we work together so that one of us is trying to help these groups, and we're basically making the right fit with the right organization. So we have a lot of groups that we did. The round one funding that was done is largely programmed around relief for individuals and families affected by the pandemic.
Okay.
Also to address issues such as homelessness.
Okay.
And after council reviews and approves it, we'll let you know who's gotten those funds. There's a little bit in there for rental assistance and mortgage assistance, but the agencies that get the money will be doing that. We're not doing the direct aid to individuals. We distribute it to organizations that are really equipped to do that type of thing.
Okay.
And that really is the most effective way to do this.
Okay. And then we'll be looking for round 2 and 3 down the road.
Absolutely. Probably in the next 3 months you'll see that. I would say by the time April rolls around, we will probably have distributed rounds 2 and 3. So stay tuned. We'll be giving more information out.
Okay. Stay tuned for updates on the CARES Act funding. Then also recently on January 20th, there was a joint meeting between the Oshkosh Common Council and the Oshkosh School Board. And I understand that there were a couple topics that were discussed there.
Yeah, the council and the school board like to get together every so often to just talk about items of interest. The 2 items that were talked about last night were the school resource officer program. Some people refer to as a police school liaison officer, but it's basically officers in schools. And they provide a valuable service to the community and to the schools as well. Great people, enthusiastic, wonderful people. We had a good discussion with the school board and pointed out that right now there are 5 officers that are in the schools. We jointly fund with the school district half of the first 4, but we fund whichever officer is the most expensive, so generally the most senior officer, but we're funding 100% of that. We reached out to the school district and said, would you be willing to help fund half of that position? And after some discussion about the value that it provides, not just the city of Oshkosh, but a lot of our students at the high schools and middle schools are also coming from outside of the community, outside the city of Oshkosh, and so the school district is willing to pony up half of the cost of this program. So we'll be working through that, and you'll see that in the coming months that we'll get that taken care of. And then the other
new schools.
New schools. The school district was very pleased that the voters approved a referendum to redo Merrill and Webster Stanley, and that's going to be doing some other things. And we let them know that we will be there to assist them. We have a regulatory responsibility to make sure the building is safe and whatnot. And so we're going to be working very closely with them, making sure the impacts of traffic, any impact on transit, traffic flow, impacts of neighborhoods are all taken into consideration so that when the school's done, we've looked at all of our long-term needs. So we had a good discussion about that, and we're going to continue that because the design's not done yet. And so when it's called about 75% design, then we'll sit down and really get into the details about it, and we're going to help them any way we can.
Okay, very good. It's very good to have those that collaboration between governmental entities like that.
Exactly. They are different entities. A lot of people don't understand that. And in some states out east, the school district and the city are actually under one entity. That is not the case in Wisconsin. So we have to work together, and I think we do a pretty good job at it.
Okay, very good. And then we have a new assistant fire chief. Recently had a promotion within the fire department here at Oshkosh.
We do. We did a little bit of reorganization, and Battalion Chief Brian Bending is now Assistant Chief Brian Bending. He's here getting his shield with Chief Mike Stanley. Assistant Chief Bending, I'm going to have to get used to that, was promoted to this rank. Through the reorganization, he's responsible for training as well as the inspections division, his role as fire marshal. That was his traditional role, but now he has training also under him. But this will enable that area to get more emphasis, and he's very customer oriented for the fire inspection side and is going to really help improve our training. We've got the new training facility that we're planning over the next few years, the tower that we've talked about.
Okay.
So training's going to take some increased emphasis, and Assistant Chief Bending will be part of that process.
Okay, very good. And then we have something fun to talk about, Mark. Over at the Public Museum, they have a new vintage Star Wars toy exhibit. And I understand it's one of the largest shows of this sort in Wisconsin.
Our museum director, Brad Larson, is certainly giving you all the info. Yeah, it is allegedly the largest public display of original Star Wars toys ever in Wisconsin. There are the dates January 24th through June 20th. I would absolutely encourage people to check this out. Now, am I giving away a little bit of my Star Wars geekdom? Probably. But they're toys made between 1978 and 1985. Kenner Toys manufactured hundreds of action figures. I was a little too old for those, at least that's what I'm saying, but they were featured in the first series of Star Wars movies. So we're real excited that we've gotten access to this to show the public. I don't think you're going to be able to play with them, but you're going to dream a lot by looking at them.
Yeah, just neat to see all the different types of toys, and I think it'll bring back some nostalgia for some folks, and maybe for some of the younger folks that are into Star Wars today, they'll enjoy this as well.
Well, one of the things, because of COVID, reservations are required.
Right.
But actually, that'll make it more convenient because you can reserve and prepay for the time and date that works for you. That gets you easy check-in when you arrive, and then you'll know that we've got all the health precautions in place. So it's going to start on January 24th. So be on the lookout. It's coming to a galaxy near you.
Okay. And we'll note, too, that in some collaboration with the Oshkosh Public Library, there's some books available for some background on some of the items on exhibit there. So you can check the Oshkosh Public Museum's website for all information about all of that, oshkoshmuseum.org, and check it out. Okay. And then another fun thing in Oshkosh is the public ice rink is open.
Yes, this has been relocated to Rowe Park, just behind the downtown Y. It used to be down at the convention center. This seems to be a better location. But Mother Nature hasn't been cooperating, but it looks like it's going to be opening, so be on the lookout for that. And on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 3 to 7 p.m., Dr. Eric's Skate Club is going to be providing free ice skate rentals. So be on the lookout for that. And if you're interested in that, pray for cold weather so the ice stays nice and firm for you. But we're excited that we're going to be able to offer this. And it hasn't been open yet, but it's going to be open based on Mother Nature cooperating with us. But I think it's a great location. It's a fun family event, and I encourage you to check it out.
Mm-hmm. And also they have some events coming up February 5th and February 19th. So you can always check the park's Facebook page for current information regarding the ice rink, its status, if it warms up, whether it's open or not. But you can always find out what events they have coming up and that by checking the Facebook page. Then also, Mark, there is a recently recorded League of Women Voters and Oshkosh Media Candidates Forum, so folks can learn more about the candidates for Oshkosh Mayor and Oshkosh Common Council.
Right. We're going to have the primary election on Tuesday, February 16th, so be on the lookout for that. Mark it on your calendar so you can vote. But Oshkosh Media, working with the League of Women Voters, has traditionally provided this candidates forum. So if you didn't already see it live, you'll be able to watch for the replays. Of course, we've got so many different venues that you can get that. Of course, Spectrum Channel 10 and UVerse 99, but all of the other places where you get the council meeting, city manager's report, and all those. And you can watch them anytime online on our Oshkosh Media YouTube channel as well. So you can pick when you want to watch it as well. But this will enable you to get good information about the candidates and select the candidates who will be my boss. So
that's right.
Choose wisely, please.
Okay, very good. Well, and there's always a schedule available on oshkoshmedia.org. You can check that out to find the television replay times, or as Mark mentioned, you can always find it on the YouTube channel. So I believe that's about what we have. We're going to take a short break, Mark. And we'll come back and talk about some agenda highlights from the upcoming Tuesday, January 26th Common Council meeting. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I wear a mask because it's a tiny sacrifice to protect your freedoms.
I wear a mask because I can, but my baby can't.
I wear a mask because I want to feel safe sending my kids back to school. My kids wear masks to keep their friends safe.
Do it for their futures.
Even if you don't have to, I hope you choose to.
Welcome back to the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, along with City Manager Mark Roloff. The meeting is coming up on Tuesday, January 26th, and the first item that we'll be looking at is there's a daycare center being planned, and it looks like it actually would be available for multiple shifts of work.
Yeah, the Oshkosh Housing Authority, they have a new facility over there on Custer Street, the old Waite Rug facility, and they've been working to create a daycare center that'll work both for first and second shifts. We know from everything, our research, that a lot of folks can't get jobs because they don't have daycare available to them, particularly for second shift, and especially the cost of daycare, affordable daycare. So the Oshkosh Housing Authority is creating a private or a separate company that will be able to build this facility, and they're actually asking for a tax increment district. It's a little unusual that public entities doing that, but they're creating a taxable entity so that they can pay taxes and be able to get this done. So the director of the Housing Authority will be there to talk about this and answer questions, but it's a definite need in our community, and looking forward to listening to them make that pitch to us.
Okay, and then there's a second presentation regarding some software that monitors the usage of water at our homes, apparently.
This is a program that we came up with a couple years ago because we know that there were some issues about people concerned about water consumption. It's called AquaHawk. We're just going to be talking about how we're implementing it and how people can access an app that they can keep track of their water usage, or we can alert them if water usage is maybe a little more excessive than we are anticipating. So I look forward to hearing the presentation and how residents can get information that it can help them save water and save money.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Okay. And then we have another item regarding a Parks Department facility. It looks like we're looking to make an update with that facility.
Our Parks Department facility dates back to the 1950s, and it was actually owned by the Technical College at the time. Okay. We're very good at taking hand-me-downs, but eventually the hand-me-downs wear out. So this is our existing park facility, and inside it is not functional at all. There are safety issues. There's little creature issues. It's got its age, and it doesn't function very well, especially for larger vehicles that we now have. It's very difficult to service vehicles and to get crews out quickly in the morning. And we learned from our Public Works facility that if we can get our folks out in the field faster, they are more efficient, they get more work done. So we're going to be hiring Cooney Architects, who also designed the Public Works Garage, to work on architecture, engineering, all the way through construction management. Very excited about it and looking forward to getting that project done.
Okay, and this would be at the same location where the current facility is?
Right there at Witzel and Duluth, yeah. So
okay.
Looking forward to it, very much so.
Okay, and then we have an item regarding sidewalks, updating some sidewalks around the city.
Our annual sidewalk program, we do about 10% of the city every year.
Okay.
This year's area is going to be roughly Murdoch on the north side, down to New York, and then Spruce on the west side, over to just about Hazel, but you can see it cheats a little bit over to the
around.
east.
Yeah.
The idea is that we have to keep our sidewalks on a regular maintenance schedule. That's for liability purposes. We do special assess for a portion of that. So, we'll be contacting residents. You may have seen your sidewalks marked in that area, but be on the lookout for that. But we got really good bids and looking forward to getting this part of the city done this year.
Okay. And then another contract relates to West 9th Avenue reconstruction. And I understand that there might be some cost savings with this.
Absolutely. We bid this early in the year so that we can get contractors that are very hungry for work, and then they can get this committed for the year. So the area is West 9th Avenue, west of Oakwood out to Linden Oak, so just about at the city limits. We finally have all of that area in the city. And so now we're going to be doing the street to widen it to 48 feet. There'll still be parking. There'll also be sidewalks and trails. And then we estimated that the bids on this would be about $6 million, and they just came in a little bit over $4.6 million. So over $1.3 million in savings. And the streets, as you know, they're in pretty rough shape over there, Andy. So it's time to get those done, and we're happy to be able to do that for the residents out there.
That's right. I used to live in that area, and it was a little rough over there. So good to see that project happen. And then we have another topic. We have some new buses coming to Go Transit.
You may recall that in 2010 we received some federal money to buy 4 hybrid buses, and those have reached the end of their life, or by the time the new buses come in.
Okay.
So we're replacing them with 2 hybrids and then 2 clean diesel buses. The reason that we're only doing 2 hybrids is really financially. We have a grant from the federal government to buy, it pays 100% of the 2 hybrid buses,
okay.
But only 80% of the next 2 in a much lower level. The clean diesels are much less expensive, but they're very efficient and very clean in terms of their emissions. So 2 clean diesel buses and then 2 hybrid buses. We should get them about mid-2022, and that's about the 12-year life cycle for these buses is just about over about that time. So they'll be replacing these buses that we already have out on the road.
And roughly the life cycle of a bus?
Yeah, it's about that 12-year period, and we
okay.
got to be careful with the hybrids because once they go, you've got to spend a lot of money to replace the batteries, and we just don't want to incur that expense. We'd rather get them replaced before we do that.
Okay, all right, very good. And then the next item is actually kind of back to Oshkosh Media a little bit. We have an item for a budget adjustment for a new drone.
Well, the budget adjustment is because the Friends of Oshkosh Media, as you very well know, Andy, is a great group of people who want to support Oshkosh Media with all the different things they're doing. So I'm going to let you do the commercial message. Yeah, you're getting a new drone, and it's not just for fun. There's some real practical applications for this thing.
Yeah, we're taking a look at it here, what it looks like. And from having worked with other municipalities before, there's a lot of usefulness for this. And our viewers that are watching the show right now will actually enjoy the fact that we would have it, because we'll be able to show a video of these projects that we're talking about. Like we just talked about some sidewalks and road construction. We'll be able to show that from above and show some updates and status. So, there's quite a bit that can be done there. And, even other departments will be able to utilize it if they're looking to get a sense of the scope of a project or an update of what's happening with a project. We'll be able to fly the drone and be able to show what's happening. And staff also will be fully trained, and we're receiving some training to be able to operate the drone and to make sure we're doing it right.
And again, it's the generosity of our Friends of Oshkosh Media. If you buy those OCM cards,
right,
that is what Friends of Oshkosh Media use to do things like fund this. So
right.
Those cards make a difference, everybody. I got my own, and they're great to have, and they go to a really good purpose. No taxpayers' money will be used to fund this, so that's really cool.
That is correct. Okay. And then we have another special event coming up, some jazz.
This is a brand new event that some local folks are putting together. So mark the date. They would still like to pull this off for August 28th. It's a Saturday. They're going to utilize North Main Street and Opera House Square for the Oshkosh Jazz Festival. I know they got a lot of plans that they're just finalizing, so look for the details, but the idea is to close North Main Street, have a little fun out there. If you're familiar with Oktoberfest in Appleton, it's a little bit of that flavor, but it's going to be, Oshkosh style, so it'll be a lot cooler. And it's jazz, so it's got to be cool. So be on the lookout for that. Really appreciate the local groups putting this together.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. And it's exciting to be talking about some special events. I think everybody's looking forward to hopefully having a good summer with some things coming up. Okay, and then we have an item, land disposition at a vacant property. What can you tell us about that item?
Well, this is property that's over by the old Mercy Medical Center. This is on Grove Street between Cleveland and Parkway, so kind of at the southeast corner of Cleveland and Grove, as you see here on the map. And the idea is we've worked out a development agreement with Oshkosh Habitat for Humanity to sell this to them, and actually with some of our community development block grant dollars and some other funds, assist them in developing some houses that they will build and sell to low to moderate income people to use. So it's going to be a great addition to the neighborhood. It's going to provide some affordable housing and basically put something in empty lots that it's made for a residential area anyway, so it'll be a perfect addition to the neighborhood. Excited about this.
Okay, and then we have another item relating to a pocket neighborhood. What can you tell us? What is a pocket neighborhood?
Well, a pocket neighborhood, this is being done by Evergreen, the Evergreen community. It's a new concept that they've seen in work. They're more like single family, standing homes that are a little tighter together. They're for senior citizens so that they're closer together. They can get services from Evergreen, but be in a home setting still for after all these years. So it's called a pocket neighborhood because it's a little more densely populated, but it's not, it looks like a normal neighborhood because it's standing homes. It'll be in the middle of a residential area, but it'll be run by Evergreen. There'll be rental units, but they're homes. And so it'll walk and talk like a home, but it'll be more of a senior housing complex. And so appreciate the ingenuity of Evergreen to come up with this concept. This seems to be a pretty popular concept in general, but the services of Evergreen will be included in there. So it really does provide something valuable to that neighborhood that I think is meeting a need for our community because our population's aging, but they still want to have a little bit of independent lifestyle. So we think this will be a great addition for them. So
it's kind of a new concept for Oshkosh.
It is. I think we've seen some of these, but this is overlaying the care that a facility like Evergreen can offer. That's just a little more than just putting down a home and they move in. So they'll be able to get services that are valuable to them, and we're looking forward to working with them to get this development approved. And Plan Commission received it very well. So I think the council will see this as a very positive addition to our housing stock in the city.
Okay, well, great information. And Mark, I think that's about all the time that we have for our show today. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here.
It's always a pleasure, Andy. Thanks.
Okay, very good. The upcoming Common Council meeting will be taking place on Tuesday, January 26th, and that meeting will be shown live on Oshkosh Media Gov TV. That's Spectrum Channel 10, UVerse Channel 99, and streaming on YouTube and OshkoshMedia.org. Or if you prefer, you can listen to it on the radio, Oshkosh FM 101.9, which is also online, and on the TuneIn Radio app for mobile devices. You can always use your streaming device to watch in high definition, such as a Roku, Amazon Fire TV, or Apple TV device. And you can always visit our YouTube channel for government meeting archives and the full library of Oshkosh Media programming. So thanks again for joining us today, and join us again in 2 weeks for another City Manager's Report. Stay safe and stay well.